It is on to round 2 for the Brooklyn Nets. Nets easing their way past the Celtics in Game 5. James Harden is a good basketball player, posting his first playoff triple-double as a Net. Good for the win, and that win sets up a star-studded matchup with Giannis and the Bucks. And that series starts Saturday at Barclays Center. Here is the Beard after last night's win.
How quickly, is it tonight? Is it tomorrow? How quickly do you put this behind you and you're like, all right, I'm going to focus in on Milwaukee now?
Personally, myself, I'm thinking about them right now, and just the matchups and, things that they do on both ends of the ball. Obviously, we know how good they are on both sides and their individual talents. Tomorrow we had an off day, and Thursday I think we go watch film and prepare for them.
Question, how do these two teams match up? Answer, well, Bucks took the season series 2-1. Giannis and Durant both getting it done on offense, averaging 39 and 34 respectively. That's so many points. Hey, Brandon, who's got the early edge here, Bucks or Nets?
Are you asking me that question? Come on, please, Jenna. You know
I'm asking you with your head. No,
let's go.
I'm asking you with your head, not your heart. Can you do it? Head, not heart,
okay.
Brandon. Try it.
Well, listen. Look what I'm wearing. Look what I'm wearing. We win the series. We just beat those boys. I'm wearing my black and white celebrating. It was amazing. It played out exactly how I said it would all year. I said they have too much firepower on offense. You have 3 guys that can average 25 points. What did you see? You saw them average 84 points throughout this series. 85 points throughout the series. That's the record. You can't find that in the history of the NBA. You got to go back to 1960 to see somebody close, and that was Elgin Baylor. That was Jerry West, and some guy named, excuse me, not being disrespectful, but Rudy LaRusso. They averaged 84 points in the series. So they did exactly what I said they would do, and that's why the Bucks don't have a chance to win this series. Now, it will be an interesting series, Nick. It will be, to me, in my mind, this is the finals. You got a team that can really get it done, but they don't have enough to go the distance. You got, obviously, the reigning 2-time MVP of the league, and that's Giannis. You have P.J. Tucker, who's Mr. Big Shot. He reminds me of, Chauncey Billups at times when the game's on the line. He hits those little corner threes. Chris Middleton, he's underrated, probably the most underrated player in the NBA. And then you have Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, dynamic on the defensive side, and he's a scary scorer. So it's going to be a series, and they're going to have to earn it. But there's too much offense at the end of the day. You can lock down KD and then Kyrie kill you. You can lock down Kyrie, then James Harden kill you. What James Harden has done this year, this series, is just, it needs to be celebrated. The first couple games in the first series, what did he do? He got his guys involved. He made the ultimate sacrifice. This is a scorer, a guy who's ball dominant, and he let KD and Kyrie lead. And then all of a sudden, he turned it on the last 2 games on the scoring side. So absolutely love this matchup for the Nets. It won't be easy, Nick, but this is something to watch because this is the finals.
So I don't know if I agree that this is the finals, but I do think this could end up being the best series of the postseason. And the point Brandon made should not be glossed over. That Brandon said all year, the Nets have 3 guys that can average 25. Well, 3 times 25, that'd be 75 points per game between the 3 of them. In this series, those 3 guys averaged 85, which is the most of any trio in any playoff series of any round in NBA playoff history. So in that regard, Brandon has been 100% correct. So why haven't I bought in on the Nets? All year long, I've been sounding the alarm about their defense. And Brandon came around a bit when the Nets had one good defensive game. I think there was a drawing a blank answer that said defense wins championships. And it wasn't from your old buddy Nick Wright, it was from your old buddy Brandon Marshall. And now that we're through the first round against a team that had one healthy, legitimately good offensive player in Jason Tatum, you look and you say, okay, the Nets defensive rating during the regular season, we all said it wasn't going to be good enough. They would have to get a little bit better. It was 114. What is it in the playoffs? Oh, it's 116. Oh, their defense has actually gotten worse in the postseason. Now, it hasn't mattered because they were playing legitimately with no Jaylen Brown, with a hobbled and then not there Kimball Walker, a bad Celtics team. But it will matter against Milwaukee. So I believe the Bucks have the edge. Brandon gave me great information that I agree with about what a good roster the Bucks have. But Wilds, I want to focus on Giannis, because the last time we saw Giannis in a playoff series where he wasn't dealing with either Bam Adebayo or Kawhi Leonard, he averaged 31, 16, and 6 on nearly 60% shooting. I think Giannis is going to look the best he has looked in the playoffs since then, because A, you're going to have to go up and down and score a bunch against Brooklyn, and B, there is nobody on Brooklyn's roster, forget Garden, that can even form the wall. Like, I guess you could try DeAndre Jordan like you did in the regular season, and Giannis responded to that in the regular season by averaging 40 points per game against this team. So the one part, Wilds, that I will say Brooklyn has a sizable edge in is if Brooklyn has a 3-point lead with 45 seconds left in any of these, 4-point lead with 45 seconds left, they are the best closeout team in the league, because all three of their guys are spectacular free throw shooters. You can't get in the foul competition with them at the end of games, as you see teams try to do. So that works to Brooklyn's favor. But the defense, the well-roundedness, and the fact that I think Milwaukee's been tested, I think all works in the Bucks' favor.
So here's the thing that I'm worried about, and I'm rooting for the Bucks, but this is what I'm worried about. What if Steve Nash went into the Nets locker room today while they're watching film and said this: not only can we not contain him, we're just going to let Giannis do his thing. If Giannis has been playing like Wilt Chamberlain, literally, we put up Wilt Chamberlain's numbers against Giannis, and they look exactly the same. If he gets 40, so be it. If he gets 45, so be it. If he gets 50, you know what? We'll make a great highlight. But we need to stop. PJ Tucker can't get loose and start hitting threes like Marcus Smart did. We got to contain Chris Middleton, try to keep him in the teens, and try to keep Drew Holiday in the teens. If that happens, Nick, if Steve Nash says, you know what, we can't stop Giannis and we're not going to try, we almost let him punch himself out, we have to stop those other guys, I think that would be a blueprint to beating the Bucks. Do you agree?
Well, the thing is this: I don't know that they can stop the other guys. I just don't. The Nets, when their best 5-man lineup, the one where KD's the only big on the court, Harden, Kyrie, Joe Harris, and Blake. KD, and the underrated story of this postseason, by the way, has been Kevin Durant is playing essentially perfect basketball. KD is somehow showing no signs of any injuries and is doing it on both ends. KD is an excellent defender. No one else in that 5-man unit is a plus defender. Harden, if you post him up, is, but that's it. And so even if you're like, no, we're just going to let Giannis get his, but we're not going to let, who is stopping Drew Holiday? Who is stopping Chris Middleton? If you put KD on Chris Middleton, that can work. But so I just think that the Nets have not shown me the ability to get stops. They haven't needed to, because as Brandon's point is, their big three have just been incandescent. But I think the Bucks have too much.
It's simple. It's simple. Too much offensive firepower, and you guys are missing it. I've never seen a great team or a great player go into a game saying, oh, we need to do this. No, what they do is they double down on what they do best, and they impose their will. They say, we're going to force this team to stop us. So who's losing sleep right now? Is it the Bucks losing sleep right now, saying we need to stop the big three over there, the guys that just averaged 85 points in the series? That's a record. You got to go back to the 60 to see somebody come close. Or is it the Nets us losing sleep at night saying we got to stop Giannis, we got to stop Chris Middleton, we got to stop Drew Holiday, we got to stop PJ Tucker? Think about that. No, the Nets are not losing sleep. You got KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. We're talking about some of the most prolific scorers the league has ever seen. Forget the league. We got freaking scorers walking this earth that never seen the NBA. You throw these guys out at the Rucker, you throw these guys on any freaking blacktop, and they're going to get buckets. And that's exactly why this team is going to beat them in 6.